Well, hello everyone, and welcome to the wide open province of Saskatchewan in Canada. My name is Atomo, and I'm joined as always by Calamity. How are you?
Hello, I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing great, yeah. Saskatchewan, we think it could be quite a nightmare, but there are a couple big cities which could give us some nice locations. Our matchup for you this time is in Division 2 between Paul and Paula and Patriots and Calamity. These two are practically mirror images of each other as we take a look at their stats.
Well, yeah, you could say that. Although, don't you normally use mirror image if it's the exact same?
If they're like the similar but like opposite or
All
reflections
right.
of each other, right?
Okay. Yeah, Patriots so far not really having a good season at all. He's recently got a couple of points at least. But still in 11th place down there in the relegation zone. Only two aces all season so far is also not really a good thing. While Toll, on the other hand, currently in first, just as of this week, for the first time. 14 points, it's really close though at the top, so really anything could happen there still. And still also chasing a perfect game.
Definitely. Yeah. So let's take a look at the map here. It is by Logjam, average score of only about 10,000. Another one of these maps that have a very low score, but mainly because it's only been played 27 times before we got to it. I bet that author is quite surprised if he takes a look at that map now. 10,000 plus locations Calamity pretty much means it's a polygon map, but it probably doesn't include the far north of the province, which has little to no coverage.
You can cross the little out. It has no coverage, so it can't include it, even if it wanted to. Now, the furthest north, I think, is La Loche. Let me just look that up quickly. Yeah, well, Clearwater River, technically, which is like one small town further north, but it has like one road going through it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so not a whole lot to talk about. Saskatchewan pretty much known for being very flat. Not a lot of clues as to where you might be, but it is Canada, so good signs in this one. What are you expecting from a map like this in these two competitors?
It could be interesting. Saskatchewan turned out easier than I first thought because, as you said, it's got relatively good signs.
Mm.
And even if you say it's not that well, it's pretty flat, yes, but there are some more hilly regions, for example, in the southwest, and it is it has some regions you can tell apart from each other just based on the landscape. Of course, you've got the whole center of the province, which all just looks the same, but
Mm.
in general, I think also finding out which town you're in is super easy. So as long as you're not in a really rural part of Saskatchewan, you're gonna get pretty close in 3.5 minutes.
Okay, well, let's see how these two do. Both of them fighting towards the end back end of this season for very different things as we get into round number one. And they'll both be happy. At least round one isn't in the middle of nowhere.
The first student Canada bus. Very helpful, yes.
Yeah. And there is blue road signs, which I
Yep.
think some people mentioned are very distinct of Regina or
Yes, the town that I shall not call Regina. Um,
Regina.
yeah, the blue signs are unique to Regina. It's not something I knew before I played the seed. I only found out about that afterwards.
Mhm.
But yeah, it doesn't seem like either of them know it either, or they're just like, okay, you know. But I mean, they found signs like Second Avenue or something. So if they knew, I'm sure at this point they'd be looking at the map.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure Patriots saw a trash can that had an R on it and Regina in cursive. He could sort of make it out. I don't know if he did, but his screen is bigger. I would assume so. If I can read
Yep.
it.
And there it says it as well, actually,
Yeah, on
on that yellow sign.
mhm. Well, actually,
I
it's
think
Tall, the one lacking information right now, but
I think Patriots ignored that as well, though.
that would be unfortunate. Already a minute gone. Couple streets coming up. For Tall, still looking for anything that will help him. There's some big road signs. Let's see what they give him. Oh,
Not a
Saskatchewan
lot.
Drive. And there we go. Yeah,
Okay, Patriots
Patriots.
does know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Canadian highway signs share a similar uselessness with American highway signs, in that they just point you to the next road that goes off of it.
Yeah, but definitely looks like Tall is not at a loss, being able to keep track of some things. There are some avenues and road numbers. And with about a minute and a half, this one's all about wrapped up. Both of them just trying to find the names of the roads on the map.
Yeah, Patriots doing something here that I've seen other people do in the past sometimes, but it's something I would advise heavily against, which is looking for the place you're currently at rather than looking for the place you started at. That's true for American and Canadian cities that have like first, second, third avenue. Because even if you do find the place you're at, you're still going to have to look for the other place, the one you started at. And you're guaranteed, as you do here, like you're close to Third Avenue at the start, you're guaranteed to be able to have a point that you can find at the start. It's understandable, and I would recommend searching for the place you're at in other regions or other countries where, you know, you're at a big road, at a big intersection, and you don't have anything like a grid system to help you out to get to the starting location, but not here.
Yeah, plenty of information at the actual spawn point. No sense in spending your time there. Tall, a little bit confused. Thought he had the right location, but the road names didn't quite match up. He's still out hunting with only 20 seconds left to go. Neither of them really pinpointing this, but they're both in the same city, and the province is quite large, so there won't be a lot separating them as we get to the final 10 seconds here. And
Yeah.
who will be able to find it? Doesn't look like either one of them. As we tick to 0, and they're both close, but not quite close enough. 4,979 for Tall Impala, 4,881 for Patriots. So definitely within 100 points of each other here. Actually, just outside of 100 points.
Yeah, just no inside.
Oh, just inside. Okay, I had it right the first time, and I
98
second guessed
points.
myself.
Is it? Yeah. It's 96 points. No,
Yes.
it's 98 points. Never mind.
Yes.
I'm dumb. Yeah.
Just within inside it. Yeah, but road names a little bit tricky. Spending a lot of time looking for them and not able to find it though, Calamity. But not a bad start from either one.
Yeah, I think Toll made the mistake that I sometimes do as well, although he stuck with it a bit longer. Where, you know, cities in America and Canada sometimes have like a Third Avenue North and a Third Avenue West and a Third Avenue Southwest, and this one was just Third Avenue without a cardinal direction. And I think Toll was looking for the along the Third Avenue North route, most of it.
Yeah, very important piece of advice there from Calamity. Make sure to check that direction on that road name because it does make a difference. As we jump into round number 2, and well, at least it's that urban to start.
Like a very, very easy round to get. You can see that big silver thing on Patriots. He's just turned around now. That big silver thing. I think it's a grain mill elevator or something like that. And also Patriots there found out it's Glenavon. That's the name of the city. But those grain elevators always have the town name on them. Yeah, so nice. They're quite nice. And for some reason, they're in every town in Saskatchewan.
Well, it's where all the farmers come to drop off their loot, so to speak, and both of them looking in the southern part of the province, which definitely is the more kind of farmland area, and road numbers for them both.
Yep.
Well,
a relatively easy round.
Yeah, and there we go. Patriots got it.
Patriots struggling a bit with finding the 48. It was already on his screen. It's kind of like southeast of Regina.
Yeah, he's looking too far north.
Yep.
For sure. The geography of the area should point him further south. Yeah, and there we go. A very quick ace for Tall Impala there. 5,000 points, only 4 meters away. Not too bad at all. What do you know? The road next to the railway is called Railway Avenue.
Big surprise.
Yeah,
there you go. Patriots found it as well.
So both of them will be looking to stay within draw range of each other after 2 rounds.
Yeah, it is actually. Because normally I'd now say, well, he's got it pretty much right down to it, and of course they're going to stay in draw range. But if Patriots drops 2 points, he's out of draw range. So
I guess that is true. And he won't. He'll actually get, well, he slows down. He's 3 yards away. Those
Yep.
Americans using the good old imperial system. An ace for him as well. Very nice indeed. But yeah, Calamity, even perhaps more straightforward than round 1, believe it or not.
Yeah, definitely. Rural towns in Saskatchewan are much easier than cities.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, let's just keep going here in round number 3 and another urban one.
Yep. And this one, for a change, as they both zoom into the sign that says Saskatoon, is easy even if it's an urban location.
Another city of Saskatoon. So around some municipal buildings here. Gives them the city right away.
Really difficult to miss those signs.
Yeah, plenty big. And it looks like Patriots actually got himself onto a little pathway there along the river.
West of the river.
Doing a bit of trekking.
Yeah, good general information. I mean, at this point, probably should have already found like some of these signs that Tor's looking at right now, but they're not as good as ones with a number. But just knowing where the river is in comparison to your starting location is a pretty good hint, at least.
And Patriots there got that water treatment plant that he believes is close to where he started. So now he's going to move to those great names. There we go. Very fast round.
I was surprised that it took both of them. Well, Toll still hasn't looked at them, but it took both of them so long to look at those signs right at the intersection that they started on.
Yeah, but an ace for Patriots there. Leaves it up to Tall, who isn't too far off, but is going to spend a bit more time working on that pinpoint.
Oh, please, you started next to an intersection. Go back and look at the signs.
Yeah. Sometimes you hate when it's like almost too easy and you're like, okay, I have all the information I need. This should be, oh, wait a minute. Where is this? Huh? How can I, just something goes wrong sometimes. And okay, I'm going to find more information. I'm going to try to, settle the old nerves a bit. He's still got a minute and a half to go. He doesn't have to rush anything.
Yeah, he's still got a lot of time. I just don't really understand his reasoning.
And now we'll jump back to the start. Check out those road signs. I think he wanted to know where along the river he was before he started looking for roads, and he took him a little bit longer.
There's road signs.
Yeah, it took him a little bit longer than he wanted. An ace for him, 2 meters away, a bit closer than his compatriot there, but a draw, an ace for both of them again. And well, could this seed get any easier?
It could, yes.
It could, yeah, definitely could.
We'll Not much, but it could.
We could, yeah. We're still waiting for that middle of nowhere location as we get into round number 4. And, oh, yeah. Luck can't hold out forever, Calamity.
Yep.
Now 3.5 minutes of clicking.
Both heading off towards the south. A lot of lakes around here. Lakes in Saskatchewan are a bit iffy sometimes because there's a lot of them on the map, but they don't always correlate with what you see in Street View.
That is very true. Depending on the time of year, they can be bigger or smaller, or even in the wrong place.
Patriots went back and went north.
And that's not a bad thing to do. The 2. And road signs. There we go. Moose Jaw. That'll be very helpful.
Yep. This way to Crane Valley.
Gonna check out. Oh, he went right past another sign or 2.
Yeah.
Hit a major intersection.
More about road numbers that he just went past, but maybe you'll go check it out again.
Yeah, the 36. Now that we know what Patriots found going north, it's gonna be, when does Paul maybe find it going south, or is he gonna turn around and try for it? Because it's actually really close to the spawn point. So.
Yep.
Yeah, this is, as a player, this is where I hate it, because you just think, oh god, I've had this situation so many times myself where you just go the wrong direction for 3 minutes and go, oh, there was a sign right there. Oh, that would have been nice to see.
Yeah, Saskatchewan is actually one of those places that doesn't really have much cutoff coverage.
Mm-hmm.
So you can normally, as Patriots misses out on the ace by 3 points,
Mm-hmm.
you can normally just turn around and try the other way.
Yeah. So we'll see. A minute and a half left. And when does Tall call it good? Or will he see something along the track? It's one of those things where, especially in like the US or Canada, if you've gone 2-3 minutes without seeing a sign, it probably was at the start really close because the spacing of those signs are pretty consistent. There we go. He's got
Yeah.
one.
It's also kind of like a sunk cost fallacy though, where you're like, I've
Mhm.
already gone 2 minutes this way, and surely there must be a sign right around the corner.
Yeah.
Sometimes there is, sometimes there isn't. Uh, yeah, he's looking for the 36, not right next to the 35, but there it is, and he's just gone past it.
Yeah. A little bit
That's
of
rough.
yeah, just waiting for him to find it. Got going through the roads again.
There it is again, just a bit west of you. Tall, west. There you go. Yes, no, don't go past it again. Ugh.
Yeah. So map skills a little bit lacking here today for Tall, which at the top of the table isn't gonna be something he looks for.
There it is.
There we go. But enough time, but only 5 seconds to really worry about pinpointing. Can't do much of that.
Direction doesn't fit here.
Yeah, a bit too far south, and that'll open the first gap we've seen since the first round. 4,518 points for him, 4,997 for Patriots, who now is in the driver's seat with only one round to go. But Calamity, as we saw, it could be really easy, or it could be like this again, and it could go the other way.
Yeah, the problem for Tall is that most of the locations are more like the first three we saw and less like the last one we just had. So he needs to get a bit lucky with the last location here if he still wants to get any points out of this one.
Okay, let's see. And nope,
Nope,
no luck.
definitely not.
Yeah, a city pretty big.
Oh, Melfort.
Yeah, and so that should be about the end of Paul's game, which means quite the upset for Patriots as long as he doesn't completely lose it in this final round.
Yeah, it's actually those like semi decently sized towns are probably a bit more difficult than the completely small ones, just because you might travel in the wrong direction and it might take you a bit longer to find some good information.
Yeah, definitely.
Because
also,
in like a in a small town you have like 3 streets and you're gonna find all the information you can pretty quickly. But in this town you can move around a bit and just get lost.
Yeah, there's also always a worry that you spend so much time looking at all the signs that have nothing and don't actually spend the time getting the good signs that will tell you where you are.
Yeah, it's kind of
does make it out of
difficult
town a little bit.
because yeah, in small towns in Saskatchewan, I always recommend just go out of it as quickly as possible.
Yeah, definitely.
But it's actually not too easy to tell in this town until you make it to where Patriots is right now or where Toll is. Whether it is a small town or something like Saskatoon or Prince Albert or any of those cities.
Yeah, we are in Melfort, those nice banners. And Tall, with a little bit of a better information, the 3 and the 41. He doesn't want to look for a city. That's much better.
It's also big on his screen right now, Melfort, but I don't think Tall's actually seen Melfort yet.
Oh, now he has.
Never mind, maybe he has.
And we've got a couple cities a long way away, but no real distances, which is kind of throwing. Oh, yeah, Regina is
He's got
to
a
the
distance
south.
to a PT Valley.
Yeah, so you've got to go north of that, and then very fast in the draw. Will get no. He didn't even let it show the score. That was how fast he was. I believe it was an ace, but
yeah, it was.
He wasn't gonna wait around to find out. 24,497 for his final score. As we see if Patriots can catch up.
Troubles here.
He is. So we said he all but had it in the bag, but the location is throwing him for a bit of a loop with less than a minute. There's a road number, 41. Again, it really feels like he's, oh, I have all this information, but oh, there's the sign he needs.
There was another one before that which pointed him to Prince Albert in Saskatoon, which should give him like the general region in combination with all of
Prince
the others.
Albert. There we go. Distances. Look north. Does he know where Prince Albert is?
He should.
There we
It's
go.
the third biggest town in Saskatchewan.
There's Melfort. Okay, now that he's at least in the town,
All right.
he gets a lot closer. There we go. 9 seconds left. He is really lucky he has that extra 30 seconds compared to Division 1.
Yeah.
Oh boy, he needed them here. And there we go. Only dropping 5 points will mean he will be able to come out on top of this one against Tall. So yeah, a very big scalp taken from Patriots here, Calamity.
Yeah, you could even call it like, I'm sure there's some people now watching that are like, it's an undeserved victory because, but that's just Geoguessr. Sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you don't. And yeah, you kind of, both of them made some mistakes. Both of them took longer than they needed on some rounds. I mean, for Tall, it was the round in Saskatoon that really took him longer than it should have than that round well, even the round where he walked the wrong way the whole time.
Yeah.
He still had the highway 36 about 4 times on the screen before he actually saw it.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, Patriots, not too great in Regina, not too great there at the end in Melfort, but good enough for a win here.
Yeah, it sometimes definitely comes down to not how good you are, but how bad your worst round was, right? Yeah, we both had a bad round, but I was slightly better in that worst round than you. Yep. And that means I get the win, and that's definitely what happened here with Patriots. His worst round was better than Tall's, and he gets the win, 24-8-7-3 to 24-4-9-7. So yeah, it doesn't really help him too much there towards the bottom of the table, but it definitely hurts Tall quite a bit, who will lose that top spot in all likelihood. Well, thank you all for watching. If you liked this cast, there are plenty more to see on the channel. We have been casting many videos throughout the entire season, so check those out. And we have even more to come, so we'll see you in the next one. Take care.
Bye.